Good evening. Welcome to 1001 Nights of Lessons. I'm your host, Dildar. I'm a Uyghur girl living in the US in her late 20s, working a normal corporate job 9 to 5. But I'm here to share all the stories and lessons learned along the way of life. 5 to 9 with you all. And this is night 7, where we talk all about self-care rituals and how to stick to them. If you're listening to this episode, I strongly recommend you tuning to YouTube or Spotify to watch this podcast episode, because this is the first episode where we are doing video podcasting together. Just right off the bat, I'm not gonna do this every time moving forward. It's gonna be a little bit of a mix. On that note, please make sure to follow 1001 Nights of Lessons to YouTube, because that's where I will post all the video episodes, and you can also watch them on Spotify if you just get your podcast from Spotify. We always talk about how important is self-care and self-love. That has been the buzzword for the past decade. But today is going to be super practical on this topic. I'm going to share a series of activities I do to exercise self-care, my self-care rituals that I incorporate on daily, weekly, monthly, annual basis. To me, self-care rituals mean things I do that make me feel most connected to myself, make me feel happy. Self-care rituals are things we can do to nourish our mind, body, soul all around. And I think talking about these things are super important towards the end of the year in December. I'm such a Capricorn planning girl. What kind of new habits we should incorporate into our lives for the new year? What do we need for the new year? What momentum should we build? Maybe you're listening to this and you're in a rut currently. I have just the tools you need to feel good again and get back on track. The thought of taking care of ourselves on a consistent basis is not enough, although really good. Really high self-worth of you to even think of committing to do that, okay? What's needed is mechanism, system, infrastructure to let it stick and become integral to your lifestyle. This all goes back to that quote I saw somewhere. Procrastination is not because you're lazy, it's because you lack routine. Let's start with my daily rituals. I'm just going to preface by saying this is a huge list of things I'm doing on day-to-day basis. It just might be draining for you to even hear the list of things I have to do every day to make myself sane and balanced. What helped me is identifying non-negotiable daily habits. The rest also have expectation of doing them every day, but be gentle on yourself when you couldn't. It's not a task that you have to do, and if you don't do, you are a failure. That's not the case. That's a super toxic mindset. And let's be honest, there's only 24 hours in a day, right? How much stuff we can squeeze in there outside of showing up for your responsibilities? One way to make it happen is stacking good habits together. You will know specific example as I get into all the rituals. So let's start from my non-negotiable daily rituals. Number 1, daily moves. I move my body every day. I used to think working out is like 3 times a week thing, which a lot of people still do. And when I say move your body every single day and embody it as a lifestyle, doesn't mean that you have to go do an intense HIIT workout every single day. Obviously, you have to pair it with different types of workouts. So choose your jam, whatever workout you really enjoy. Create a little calendar Monday to Sunday and follow through, and maybe keep it fun and keep it surprising. The more you don't work out, the more you dread it, you know? Now, luckily, I'm in a flow of sticking to this habit to a point that I don't think about it. I'm on autopilot. After work, I go to work out. So what I tell myself to do is work out every day for an hour. On top of that, walk as much as I can. I have Oura Ring, as you can see if you're watching. It is the talk of the town, and I'm influenced 10,000 steps every day. I'm here for it. I love a good trend that has no harm for you. So only do wonderful things. Why not? I'm participating in it. So that's how I structure my workout. 1 hour workout, whether it's yoga or a workout class or strength training, depending on the day, every single day, plus walking 10,000 steps. If I do either one of these things, my daily move goal is checked. I don't call it daily workout, it's daily move, as long as I'm moving my body in some way. My non-negotiable daily ritual number 2 is plan for tomorrow. Whenever I don't take the time the day before at night to prep for the next day, the next morning I wake up like deer in headlight. Literally, starting from not setting the alarm, starting from forgetting the computer at home and going to work. Yeah, so I have to prep the day before. This is a traumatized tissue response first and foremost. There's also an enjoyable part of it too, is prepping the outfit, which makes me look forward to the next day. What I do for part of planning for tomorrow is to fill out my activity task for tomorrow on this notebook. This is very Capricorn of me. And last step is to fill out the bag with everything I need for work tomorrow. And usually this step is especially crucial if it's during the weekday. And then I meal prep. I'm just so grateful for this one little habit because it truly keeps me together as a human being. I'm curious to hear how you'd like to plan for tomorrow. Is there anything else that you do? But that's what I do. Third non-negotiable daily ritual, nighttime hygiene and skincare. This is actually what every single human beings on earth do. But the reason I have to list it for myself as non-negotiable is that sometimes I don't do them. Okay? Because I'm such a naturally disoriented person, I really rely heavily on these rituals to function bare minimally as a human being. I just want to mention quickly, how do I ensure that I do these non-negotiable habits? I have a tracker, also from this little planner. If I'm falling off for a couple of days, like what happens? Let's get back on track. So that's why planning for the next day on a daily basis is also very important, because it allows you to see your behavior pattern and see what areas are falling off, and then maybe pay more attention to that. And for skincare, I double cleanse. I use collagen, retinol, and a thick layer of moisturizer. I realize less is more and ingredients matter, so I'm using as clean as I can. Trust me, it's so hard to find nowadays. This Black Friday, I got really nice body lotion from this brand. I think I have it right here with me. L'Occitante. Yeah, so anyways, I got a body lotion from them. This is a new thing that I'm doing to try to use more body lotion. I feel like I've been neglecting my body and I'm just like doing face. That's got to change. We're almost 30. Here are some other daily self-care rituals that I do. Meditation. I pair this with workout. So towards the end of the workout, I would meditate in Shavasana, sometimes at yoga class, or when I went into the sauna after at the facility, I put on a meditation podcast and just steam in the sauna. That is my favorite time. I am addicted to sauna and I love them. I love them so much. My favorite meditation podcast is Boho Beautiful. They have a YouTube channel. They also have a podcast. And then sometimes my mental capacity will scream for a meditation. I would be at capacity and could not comprehend what is going on around me. And I just need to calm down. Okay. And I just 10 minutes to think to myself, let me tell you this. I have a couple stories on this. Don't worry, I have stories in today's episodes too, okay? Especially on the topic of meditation. Don't know how entertaining it will be, but let's get into it. Back when I was in a toxic work environment, I would get so stressed because of the people I work with. That's when I increased the dose of meditation. There's like blankets around the office. I would grab a blanket, go into one of the bathroom stall, close the door, put the blanket down, and sit in lotus down on the floor and meditate for 10 minutes, because nobody's going to question you if you're gone for 10 minutes in the bathroom. It's pretty normal. I would remind myself all the positive reinforcement, like focus on what matters, don't react, prepare my mind to a more positive headspace. I would come out after and be okay. That helped a lot. The reason I love meditating so much is because my first experience meditating was immensely powerful. I was in college and there's like an actual curriculum event going on that you can grab a point for a class. It's an event hosted by a Japanese monk. Towards the end of it, she guided all of us for a 10 minutes meditation. Before that moment, very sadly, I've never meditated before. I was closing my eyes, I was meditating, and I cannot focus. I succinctly remember her guided words were, do not think about any thought, let go of any thought, just be. Focus on your breath. Don't think about anything but your breath. I can't. It's like a muscle that I have never exercised prior. I'm finding it so hard to squeeze that muscle, if that makes sense. My neural pathways were not formed to successfully focus and think about nothing and zoom and just focus on my breath. But I was trying really hard to do it. So what ended up happening was I cried. I cried because of frustration. Like, why couldn't I do that? And I was trying to hold myself not bursting out crying when everybody was meditating. So I was really like trying to control my emotions. And I remember at some point, I just gave up. And all of a sudden, it happened. And when I realized I did it, I quietly observed myself keep doing it. And that feeling felt so good. I held on to that feeling so much. It gives me such euphoria and peace. Post that experience, I had so many spiritual meditative experiences that were beautiful, that have healed me from the depths of my heart. So I believe in meditation. How do I describe it? Not just in simply a tool to de-stress myself, but I believe in meditation spiritually. Honestly, like this year, all of my meditations has been pretty surface level. So for 2025, I want to have more spiritual meditations and dive deeper. I've done really interesting manifestation meditations too, which I love. Meditation truly does not need that much time. Even 5 minutes, 10 minutes is sufficient, more than sufficient to bring you to a peaceful state and give you clarity of thoughts. And you don't have to stay stationary. You can walk and meditate. You can hike and meditate. My next self-care ritual I do on a daily basis is call a friend or family every day. So how I do this is I keep a list of friends on my phone, on my Apple Notes app. When I was walking back from work, from my commute, getting the 10,000 step workout daily movement in, I would pick a person and call. Most of the time people don't pick up, and it's okay. Like I never have that expectation of my friend picking up my call whenever I call them. So, and especially in today's society, that is just too much to ask for people, you know. I would just move on to the next person until someone picks up from my list of friends that I call. If you are a friend that's on my call list, you are just so special to me. And you know who you are because I call you, okay? If we've talked on the phone recently, you know you're the real one. For family, I do try to call my mom every day this year. Trust me, that was not the case prior to this year. Prior to this year, I basically don't talk to my family unless they are worried that I might be dead or something. They would check in on me. It's just because we are so far apart and everybody is busy. And there's not a lot of common language going on there. But ever since my dad visited me, well, I'm getting into family dynamics now, but we become much closer, and I started to face my parents and my brother in my adulthood identity versus the little girl before I left home, you know, and I've kind of forced them to get to know the real me, and that really helped. And ever since then, this year, I've been calling my mom and dad and brother every single day. Definitely prioritize calling close friends and family for your soul. This is one self-care ritual for your soul. As I mentioned before, this is a mind, body, soul self-care ritual list. And this is for the soul, you guys. Next, I have reading every day, at least 30 minutes, if not 10 pages. A lot of time for me, it's a battle of focus. I love reading itself, and while I'm reading it, I get too excited about, ooh, I'm reading, and then I get distracted. So I use this kind of concentration timer. I'm holding up a block of timer right now with different increments. This really helps me to just stay focused and finish the goddamn 30 minutes and then move on. I have a Kindle. I really love my Kindle because 1001 Nights of Lesson has a book club now, 1001 Nights of Books, and we're reading together. One thing I start doing is if I have a physical book that's part of the book club, I download it in Kindle too. So no matter where, if I have a little bit of downtime, I can have access and read it. Reading for me is an alternative to doom scrolling. Also, it's a necessity for creativity. Sometimes if I stop reading for a long period of time, my brain goes empty. Next is a quick one that you can do every day. Take your supplements. I'm in Seattle, so vitamin D. I have a big gut issue, so I'm taking probiotics, prebiotics, and recently I'm taking ashwagandha as well, but I don't really know what that does. So comment down below and tell me if that has worked for you. Iron deficient, iron. I'm just outing my medical problems right now. I really hate swallowing supplements. It's just a horrible feeling. And sometimes I gag. Like one time I straight up throw up after eating iron on a semi-empty stomach. Do you know that's a thing? If you eat iron supplement, empty stomach, guaranteed throw up. That's too yucky. I'm going to move on. Next daily ritual is morning pages. You've definitely heard about this concept because there is a really great book on it called The Artist's Way, and the book gets into in detail on how you can do morning pages. Basically, you don't have to pay too much attention on what you're actually writing. The point is to dump your thoughts out in the morning. And this really, really helps because compared to the time that I've consistently done this and not, I am a better person to the people around me when I did morning pages. I lived with my ex-boyfriend. Back then we were dating. I completely stopped morning pages. I replaced it with dumping it to him. So he became my morning pages. Now we've broken up. Obviously the relationship didn't work. And one of the reasons could be that it definitely took a really huge toll on your partner if you treat them as everything, if you treat them as your therapist and your bag holder, and I can't think of anything else, and your cook. But yeah, so it's not healthy. My philosophy now for my next relationship, if I ever have one, if I don't, no worries. Universe, I'm good, I'm golden. Do you hear the list of things I have to do for myself? Literally no time. We have a gazillion self-care rituals to get to spend time with ourselves. We do not have. Okay. Well, not me ranting to universe why I don't need a boyfriend. I don't have to do that. Universe already took care of that for me. I will come together with my partner to enjoy life. I'll handle myself, you know. My partner does not need to handle me for me, and I can handle myself, and I think that's so healthy. Is that what secure attachment relationship actually is, actually? So I'm just getting there, okay? I only have past failed history of not doing that, and that's really valuable because now I know. And that's on morning pages. For things I do weekly basis, it's pretty short list, but each of them are so important and extremely pleasant, may I say. Let's start with the most pleasant activity I look forward doing every single week, a bubble bath, aka everything shower. First, I would start with putting a mask on my face. When the water is filling up, I dry brush and I put rosemary oil in my hair. I set up the little bath tray. Oh my God. Just last time, like this Friday, I took a bubble bath and my whole entire iPad fell into the water. Next weekly self-care ritual, I have movie night at home with Projector. I love good new suspense movies, documentaries, all of that. But I also love rewatching old classics. And before the movie, I make sure I have a little snack, Projector on the wall. Make sure my bed is cozy. I'm in the coziest pajama you can imagine. Next, self-care ritual, hear me out. It's a little boring. It's financial review, but I do it bi-weekly instead of weekly. Not that I have so much money that I don't know how to handle that I need to review it bi-weekly. It's kind of exact opposite. I need to review my money bi-weekly because I have a spending problem. I am a recovering shopaholic. So I log into all my banks and export all of the Excel sheets of my expenses, analyze a pattern of which area and how much did I spend, and have I allocated things I need to allocate for savings. After that, I have deep cleaning of the house. This one, I don't have too much to say other than my new Dyson that I bought for myself is a game changer. Like, I look forward to vacuum now. It's worth it. You guys, get the Dyson. It's worth it. And another tip I want to share on deep cleaning house is do it on a work day. Don't save it for Saturday and Sunday, because then all Saturday and Sunday, all you do is cleaning your house and voila, your weekend is gone. You barely have time to do things you wanted to do for yourself outside of work. This is something I am kind of shameful of admitting that I do weekly, but I'm glad I at least do it weekly personally, is styling my hair. We all know the importance of hair. It makes or breaks aura. Sadly, I am just not that girl who can style her hair every single day. Like, every single day you wake up, curl, straightened, wear your outfit, go to work. Well, I can wake up, wear my outfit, go to work, write morning pages and meditate, but I cannot wake up and style my hair. Yeah, so I can't do that every day, but I can commit to doing it weekly. And the thing is, once you style your hair really good on a Sunday, it lasts you through Wednesday. And then you can kind of be creative and do a sleek back bun Thursday, Friday. No one needs to see your greasy hair Thursday, Friday, right? Something for the soul I do weekly is to teach my brother English. We FaceTime each other and I teach him English every week online because he wants to study abroad as well, and hopefully we will reunite at some point. But right now his English is the barrier. So he's getting his English as a second language tests all sorted, and I am there for him. I want to show up for him as a sister, although it doesn't really go well every single time. We've had a big fight because I was so frustrated. The thing with siblings teaching each other is a little bit tricky, but we're both like adults now, so we moved past it, and I'm still teaching him English every week. And it's so sweet. Honestly, I'm doing it for myself. When I did that, I feel like I'm a good sister, and it's for my soul. And he is one of my priorities in life. So that's everything I do weekly that I can think of. I have 2 things I do monthly that are super luxurious, relaxing, and awesome. So every month I take myself on a spa day. A full-blown spa day, and I set a budget for it. Ever since I told myself I'm going to take myself on a spa every month since last September, I have stuck to it. This whole year I've been taking myself to different kinds of spa spots. This is a mixture of service, facial, massage, anything will do. Ever since this experiment of doing monthly spa with myself, one thing I noticed is that it actually is very much a safety mechanism. It's kind of like that one therapist appointment on your calendar that you booked for yourself a month ago. All of a sudden, you were burned out, and that appointment on your calendar came in handy and saved you. My monthly spa has been that safety net for me. I usually schedule it way ahead and I just don't think about it, and then it would come. I'm like, what a surprise. I get to take myself on a spa. Other things I do monthly is travel related. So every month I make sure that I do a getaway, get out of my city that I reside in as a resident, that I work and live day to day, for a change of scenario. Okay, let's jump to a bigger task that I do quarterly. Every quarter I plan, but this time I would focus on my big rocks. What do I want to accomplish after this quarter, this 3 months? Since it's December, that means this is end of Q4 for 2024. I'd like to review my Q4 2024 goals with you guys together right now and see how far along I am. Technically, I still have 15 more days to accomplish them. Goal number 1, launch 1001 Nights of Lessons podcast. Oh baby, we did it. And we're episode 7 video episode. Talk about evolution. Goal number 2 is lose weight, healthy, fitness journey. I would say I've made a huge progress towards consistently moving every single day and keeping myself healthy in that way, but still needs a lot of improvement in other aspects of health, like the food that I eat. I am not paying too much attention to the quality of the food that I eat. This is something I need to revisit, revise, and make it more specific for the next quarter. My weight practically did not change. There is a fluctuation, but then it bounced back. So work in progress. Number 3 is a saving goal, which a little bit behind. Number 4 is to apply for a yoga studio job. This has some sort of progress. I have an audition on the book. And number 5 is monetize my TikTok account, social media growth. Well, guess what? TikTok is shutting down in January. So I heard, and the bill has passed. The case is closed on that, I think, unless anything change. I mean, anything could happen in today's society. We can just scratch that, pivot, and be flexible. Honestly, how do I feel about TikTok closing down? As a person who posts on TikTok a lot, I actually am pretty happy about it because I doom scroll sometimes. Horrible habit. I am craving for long-term contents these days, just like this podcast with you guys and my YouTube. I think short forms are fun and it's really good for marketing perspective. Since I really have not established a brand on TikTok fully yet, so I don't feel too attached to it, and I like the idea of starting fresh. Make 3 new friends in Seattle. Well, let's see. Messi and Kita. Oops. Only made 2 friends so far. But you know what? I have 15 days to make 1 more friend. Wow, that was such a vulnerable moment of me sharing my goals with you. The thing with planning quarterly goals is those 5-6 rocks, so to speak, is always on the back of my mind. They are my leading principle to my day-to-day life that completely eliminated my existential crisis before I started doing this quarterly planning with these series of books. So, which was last year, I was constantly focusing on the wrong thing. And when you don't have a leading principle, a leading boat in front of you, you steer yourself to all sorts of direction wherever the wind blows you. And I felt really unauthentic to myself. They're not really impossible, audacious, ambitious goals. They're doable, but also challenging at the same time, and can significantly improve my life to the next level, right? 1 step ahead. So maybe I should have played 4 steps ahead, but hey. And it really made me just stop overthinking and let go a little bit about future, because I trust in myself that I got it and I have 3 months, and having a finite timeline also helps a lot. Twice a year, so we're going the next level up. Twice a year, I do closet clear-outs. I care so much about my personal style this year, and I have come to some sort of clarity on that, largely due to a book I read called Wear It Well. Figuring out what my personal style is also helped my consumption habit a lot in terms of shopping for clothes, bags, whatever. I'm no longer really pleased by anything I see. I know it's cool, I know it's chic, but it's not for me, that kind of thing. And I want to be really intentional on what I buy. I want it to last a whole lot of time. Next thing I do annually, just once a year, because it's such a tedious but necessary thing to do, is digital consumption declutter. I go through all of my social media platforms that I have, the accounts I have, and unfollow people. Because we are what we consume in terms of media, the information. I'm talking anything media consumption. I monitor it yearly basis. A year is a whole lot of time for a person to change. And that means who you follow does not interest you that much, or does not align with who you want to be as much. So I unfollow them. And see, this is very easy for public figures. All the celebrity accounts you follow, if you don't want to see them, unfollow easy, and then you can only follow a few people that inspired you. But the hard part is unfollowing people that you've met before, like normal people from your friendship circles, but more on the outskirt. So my philosophy is, if I haven't talked to you in 2 years and I know 99.99999% that I'm never gonna see you again, I unfollow you. because I just want to focus my energy on what matters, if that makes sense. Is that cold-blooded? I don't know. I also make sure to remove followers, so don't worry. Another thing that I do once a year is vision board update. I used to have actual physical vision boards. I don't do those anymore. But now I have wallpapers that are vision boards. It has the fashion style that I aspire to lean more towards, things I want to do passion project-wise, career-wise. Lastly, something I do annually, very, very important, is doctor's appointments. Just a PSA, honestly, to remind you to book your doctor's appointments if you haven't already for preventative purposes. I've only booked some of my appointments. They're so hard to get hold of. It's hard to get appointments, and the whole process of preventative care booking is so complicated. You have to go through different referral system, and then the health insurance is finicky AF. In theme of the sentiment around Luigi Mangione, I just like to mention that I'm like obsessed with him lately. Like all the news about him I'm consuming. It's insane. This is certainly an unusual episode, and we have come to the end of it. And if you like today's episode, make sure to follow 1001 Nights of Lessons for more of these, and leave a 5-star review while you're at it. See you on Christmas. Bye. Wait, I hate like the kissing thing, so I shouldn't do that.